Tim, BRL Gold. It's a golden gem over here in Cranford, New Jersey, downtown Cranford. Getting ready to see a friend of mine, someone who is really respected in the community, entrepreneur with a great restaurant, a great vibe, and a pretty dope social media strategy. Come check me out with Rico at Urban Burger. Yo, Rico!
Yo!
What's
yo.
up, my man? Taste my meat.
We got to inject the pause in there.
The pause. Yo, I mean, the place is looking amazing. Thank you for having me come through. I mean, you come in here, you're feeling the vibe, the culture, what you're about. So, man, congratulations on this.
Thank you, man. You know, we're about the culture. We do our best to educate the community on us and, you know, our lifestyle and the vibes, you know, from the artwork, you know, everything here has a personal touch. You know, everything here has a story. Everything is intentional. So we do our best to, you know, to entertain, but at the same time educate.
Yeah, man, and it doesn't feel forced, right? Like I feel like I'm coming almost into your house a little bit, right?
And
like your kitchen.
You are.
Yeah.
And to even expand from that, you're coming into our home.
Yeah.
You know, it's also your home as well too, because it represents you. You know. And again, it's everything has to be authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that because I know you're the king of that. That is dope. That is dope. So, yo, I mean, we are here, Urban Burger. We're in Clark, New Jersey. So let's get into this conversation.
Cranford, you're gonna get Cranford people upset. Clark is right next door though, but Cranford.
We are in Cranford, New Jersey. Cranford, New Jersey.
Though, you know?
CNC. But we are here. We're gonna get into it, and let's talk a little bit about Urban Burger. Yeah, so dope spot.
Thank you.
I look forward to always coming here. I'm looking forward to a great conversation. I like to get in the mind of the person, the proprietor, you know what I mean? To see.
Be careful, man.
Listen,
be careful.
I think it helps other business owners. And selfishly, it helps me too, because although I try to like lean into best practices about social media and marketing, I also like to learn. Like everybody that I talk to, I get a little gem from them as well. And I like dropping gems, but I think the benefit of having these type of conversations is that I get to grow too, and I get to help the audience, and I get to help people. So believe me, it's more of, I think, a pleasure from my side being here than you being with me, to be honest with you.
But at the same time, too, I have to be thankful and grateful that you're allowing your platform for us to have that conversation as well, too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Appreciate that.
But it's funny that you said that. Is like, I never want to be the smartest in the room. You know, if I find myself being the smartest or the most creative in the room, it's not the place for me.
Wrong room.
It's the wrong room.
Right.
You know, so I surround myself with individuals where I can learn and grow from as well too. So
yeah.
And I'm still new to. I still consider myself as the new guy in the food industry.
Okay.
Know?
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good jumping off point. Like, give me the background on you, Rico. Like, what got you to this point?
Well, Urban Burger came about more or less, it was more as an investment film. Never in my wildest dreams that I ever think that I would be this involved to the point where I'm in the kitchen and cooking and being on social media and doing the things that we're doing. It was always my mom. My mom was the known chef within the community and the restaurants and things of that sort. She was always the one that people came to. Our house was always the go-to house because of her.
Okay.
Always thought it was because of me, but no, they wanted mom's cooking.
Right.
But since her passing, it's like it was an omen where this space I occupy is not more so for business, it's more purposeful work.
Okay.
Where I'm bringing communities together and different lifestyles of people together in a space, enjoying food and laughter and conversation. And once I understood that, it opened my eyes to something totally different than just an investment or a piece of investment on a portfolio.
Got
you know.
Got you.
So once my best friend, one of my very good friends and partners, brought this opportunity here and was like, "Hey, this person is in a, this particular owner is in a space where he needs help. I think if you buy this place or whatever, I know what you could bring to this place." And here we are. That was in 2017. We're now in 2025, and the rest is history. And we're still creating history.
Yeah, a lot of history to be had. So we're in Cranford, New Jersey.
I already know where you're going with this.
A place of culture, right? You look around, great black art. You got the hip hop on the wall. Cranford is not really known for that.
No.
So why here? Why did you choose to settle here?
It didn't really dawn on me in the very beginning, because I grew up in the area. I grew up in Elizabeth, so I know about the Cranford, Clark, Roosevelt Park, and everything. And it was always considered as a drive-through neighborhood. Don't dare stop there or try to avoid going through town, because
Okay. Yep.
That's just the reality. But when you're successful in life, I never looked at it that way. I never grew up that way.
Yeah.
It was more or less, oh, I'm Rico. Everybody loves Rico. I don't have any issues with anyone.
Yeah.
It was until a week later or 2 weeks later, it was that same question was like, yo, do you know that you're the only Black-owned restaurant in town? I was like, oh shit.
Right.
I said, wow. I said, you're absolutely right. And then now all of those things started to play in my head, in my psyche. So I avoided that. I never would show my face. I never wanted people to know that I was the owner. So the first several years, I would hide behind that because I was in fear. I was in fear that I would lose customers.
Right.
Because once you know that it's Black owned. But I was told by another friend of mine at the time, who's also a restaurant owner in town, not Black, but he was like, as long as people know who you are, people will support you. You take care of Cranford, Cranford will take care of you. You're a people person, you have great personality. Don't let that affect you. But of course, I had to go through my own journey. It took years, and it took tragic things to happen in my life to break out of that fear. With the loss of my mother in 2021 and the loss of my father in 2023, back to back, and the pandemic.
Right.
And then I said, you know what? Step out of that. Step out of fear and be who you are, and and do what you're doing. But at the same time, too, utilize it and educate this community on your culture, on our culture.
Right.
It doesn't have to be right in their face, but they're going to get a sense of home and lifestyle and culture. So everything here that you see is intentional. Yeah. Everything here has a story behind it.
Right.
So now you're getting a piece of Rico and his family and his friends and his culture by walking inside Urban Burger. Every time people come in, they're like, yo, the vibe of this place.
Yeah.
There's just something different. And it's really the energy and the passion that I put into the place that creates that,
Yeah. Why is music and art such like a big staple point of this establishment?
I always like to tell people I live 3 lives. And you know what lifestyle that you know which life that person knows of me, because if you call me June, it's from the music industry. I was heavily involved in the music industry for years. If you call me Rico, that's corporate. That's my personal. Right. And if you call me Junior, then that's family, because only people call me Junior is because my father was named Rico as well too. Yeah. But I was heavily involved in music. I love music. Music runs through me. The culture, the art, everything I have to display that. I can't help it. Right. Music continues to save my life. Yeah. So I utilize everything that I've learned from music, because I was involved with Interscope and even Capitol Records in terms of the urban division in marketing and advertising, and also placement nationwide. and dealing with artists and breaking new artists and things of that sort, and artists that we all hear on the radio waves. My hand was involved in that.
Yep.
And you fast forward now, and I'm utilizing the same things that I would tell these artists to do. I find myself doing now.
Yeah, what would you tell your artists? Like, what are some of the things that you would tell them and they would just buck back?
Marketing. It doesn't matter how good your content is. You have to use social media platform, and I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
I'm talking about years ago. This social media is not something that is new.
Mm-hmm.
Social media now becomes it has now taken a form where you can't avoid it. If you're not involved in it,
on the outside, baby.
You're not going to be that successful either.
Uh-huh.
You know, you need social media. So back then, I say you have to, create a space where people can connect to you. Mm-hmm. Consumers are not buying your product just because your music is good. They're buying your product because they can connect to you.
That's right.
So you have to display that on all your social media platforms, but understand what each platform has to offer. The content that you create or how you're marketing yourself on one platform doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to correlate with another platform. You know, you have to understand your demographics and your platform, and I do this here.
Yeah, that's a best practice. So that's a gem. That's a gem, right? So if you create something for IG, that video or whatever you're creating, you should not just take that same exact piece of content and repurpose it for Facebook or TikTok. Like, you can use elements of it, but it should be totally different messaging for that, specifically for that platform.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, you're gonna put so much energy creating this content and not get the results that you want.
That's right.
And that's why it's more important to surround yourself with individuals who get it.
Mm-hmm.
Social media and all that wasn't my thing. That wasn't my thing.
Right.
I understood it. I understood the marketing and the creativity of it, but understanding the platforms and the algorithms and everything like that. Why I'm going to fool myself and say that I can or take that on? You can't be 100% doing something well in everything.
Yeah.
So you have to create a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
My guy, James,
Yeah.
he's a
savant. James is a savant.
Yo, man. He plays a major role in what we're accomplishing on social media.
Mm-hmm.
He gets it.
Yeah.
And I, like I said earlier, I always want to surround myself with individuals who know more, who are more creative or more intelligent than I, or have a different asset than I do, to make it work. Because we don't need 1,000 Ricos doing the same thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So he gets it. So I create the content. I'm being genuine and authentic in myself. And hey, you do whatever you need to do with it. You slice it up, do whatever. Yeah. And that's what he's been doing. That's what he's been doing. It where we're able to elevate Urban Burger to new spaces, man.
Yo, great job, by the way. Great job. And I think one of the things I always talk to people about is being authentic, right? Because I spent so many years trying to please people and trying to fit into a box. And it wasn't until I actually started trusting my dope that I learned to be authentic, learned to be who I am. This is how I talk. This is how I dress. This is how I think. This is me, right? So how do you stay authentic on your page, communicating to your audience?
I'll tell you this.
Because people can think that it's easy.
No, it's not. It's not. Because you're part of everyone else's life as well too, right? Here's a major thing for me. I can't have people in my ear.
Right.
The reason why I'm so authentic is and genuine is because I tell my wife, stay off of social media, don't watch my stuff. She hates social media. Right. She hates what it stands for and everything. So she understands, in order for me to be truly who I am, you have to stay off of my page. Okay. Because I'm out there, man.
How did that conversation go over?
Listen. I've gotten in trouble quite a few times just from Facebook posts.
Right.
Okay, and my wife is like, yo, why are you putting our life in there or whatever? I said, well, it's part of my life as well too. You share a part. This, you know what? So I block her.
Yo, block your wives. Yo. Yo, that is wild.
So I block her because James was like, hey, listen, man. When we first started this, he said, people like they gravitate to you. You have this infectious personality, and I said you have to give them all of you. And I said, be careful what you ask for because I will give everyone all of me.
Literally. Hey, so let's talk about it. So you had this infamous post. Let me set it up correctly. So Mike Tyson was fighting, what was it, probably about 6 months ago or so, maybe now. And everybody thinks within Mike Tyson's fight, the viral moment is gonna come during the fight. Knockout or whatever the case may be. Some antic in the ring. But this time, the viral moment happened in the interview before the fight.
We're like, oh, come on, Mike.
Right? I think everybody knows what we're talking about. So it was very timely, I would say, the post that you put up shortly after the fight. And nobody even saw it coming.
No, well, here's the thing. And we're a food restaurant, right?
Yes.
So no one's expecting it. So I saw the fight happen. It was on a Saturday, I believe. Yeah, it was on a Saturday. It was a Saturday night. And I'm watching, and here we go, this viral clip that we're talking about with Mike Tyson. I'm dying laughing. I'm like, oh. So I already had an idea. I said, I have to do this. I have to do this. So
and this is all you.
This is all me. This is all me. This is all me. No one said whatever. So, but people know who I am. Yeah. So on a thread on Marco Polo, so it's a group of all of us. Yeah. One of my boys says, "Yo, this is something Junior would do." I didn't say anything. I didn't comment. He's like, man, he knows me too well.
Challenge.
So Monday comes. I'm here in the restaurant, and I'm like, who can I get to come shoot it for me? Because everyone's gonna be no pause, you know all that. So I get one of my guys to shoot it for me, but I didn't tell him what's coming. He knew kind of just. Yeah. So when I came out here or whatever, everything that you see about it is so genuine and authentic. Like even his response, it all in one take.
Yeah.
So when I turn around in that apron,
bro,
and I walk off,
hey,
and you hear him say, "Oh God," that was his true response. That was his true response. Yo, I fell to the floor. I couldn't stop laughing, bro. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yo, I'll tell you what. I'm being truthful. I was only able to watch it once. But one of the things was, when I watched it the one time, I noticed it was like a white a rag or something.
Everybody said it was a rag. It's not a rag.
I wasn't gonna watch it again to find out what it was.
I was like, it's not a rag. I was like, who's that stick of rag? It wasn't a rag. I said it was toilet tissue.
Oh, great. Yo, I'm sorry, man. So we're talking about connecting to your crowd authentically, and it didn't really come. You can't get any better than that.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't make it up. And like you said, it's all about the timing. Certain things just happens, and it's like wow. And that's where the viral moments come. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, this is gonna go viral. That is.
Oh. No.
It's more or less. It's like when the timing comes, you just know it. You know what I mean? And just being. How I know that content is gonna go for me is when I get nervous.
Okay.
I get nervous on how it's going to be received. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, wait, this is way too much like you, Rico. It's like, how are people going to see it, you know, or perceive it or receive it? And I did that particular one. Mm-hmm. That was a little bit like I took it there.
Right.
And I was afraid.
Yeah.
And I was like, And then 10 minutes after I posted it and my phone's ringing and people are laughing and it's just shooting up, I said, okay, then we got something.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, kudos on that.
Yeah,
well executed. And I think that's where businesses like yourself and big corporations, you have the leg up. because you're able to be reactive, right? If something is going on in the world pop culture wise and it's making waves, you're able to digest that and say, hey, let me see if I can respond in this way. Or if an idea comes to you, you can just jump on it right then and there, right?
Yeah.
Without much thinking about it.
Yeah.
Whereas a big company, you gotta go through all these steps,
Channels,
these checks, and these balances, right? But yeah, man, but that is great. Beyond that, like, how else are you connecting social media, like, to your audience?
I'm 47 years old, so I'm not tapped into everything that's going on in the current events and everything like that. But I do have 5 kids. 2 sets of twins. First set's 14, second set's 12. Last girl is 8 years old. Yes, with the same woman.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, by the way. 2 sets of twins. That is an accomplishment, my brother.
So with the youth, they're tapped into all these social media platforms, especially TikTok and things of that sort. So how I know I'm doing my thing is that they're excited. They're in tune with what Urban Burger is doing. They're even giving me ideas. I'm looking at them, seeing what they're tapped into, like what's the trend, or they're coming, hey dad, you need to do this dance, or you need to do that. So I incorporate them into my content as well too.
Okay.
Just so that people get a sense of family.
Cheat code, by the way.
Yeah, it is, as long as you're authentic and genuine
That's
with
right.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do bring them in because I know the community supports that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want them to know that this is a small family business owned place. It's not just myself, there's an extension of us. So when it comes down to social media, social platforms, like I said, learn and do the research with your demographics and who is keyed into your platforms as well too.
Yeah.
Different platforms may have different demographics as well too. So you'll do certain things for TikTok that's more so for the young.
Yep.
And then you'll do certain things for IG that's more for the older demographics. And it constantly changes over time.
Yeah, and you can even look at like TikTok as fully awareness, right?
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that they are implementing now where you can kind of give like a full funnel approach, where you can get consideration all the way down to them coming in or ordering something offline or whatever the case may be. But TikTok is really about testing ground, as I like to say, right?
Yes.
You can be a little goofy on there and get the name out, but through any of the meta suites, you can incorporate some sort of a full funnel approach there. But yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
And it's a balance, and sometimes, but again, we live in a world where everything happens instantaneously. Everything is instant.
Yeah.
So even when you post. And this is one thing I learned. Years ago, you would post to get likes.
Yeah.
Now, don't care about the likes. It's not about the likes, it's all about awareness. So the more that you post, as long as you know what you're doing, the more eyes that you see. I learned this wholeheartedly when I would walk into this establishment and it's full, and it's older folk. I'm talking about people over 50 coming to this establishment, and I walk in and say, hey, I saw you on TikTok. And I was like, what do you do on TikTok? Aren't you too old to be on TikTok?
Right.
And it became became every single person was on. So to me, I'm like, okay, it's not just a youth thing.
Nope.
Everyone's really tapped into TikTok and all these other platforms for different reasons.
The numbers are going up on TikTok as far as age. Age numbers are going up.
And I'm seeing it firsthand here.
Yeah.
So that, again, the importance of learning your platforms, as long as you're learning your menu.
Yeah.
You have to know your platforms as much as you know your menu.
Yeah.
And that's how we're connecting to the community as well too, but also doing and being a presence within the community also, like giving back.
Yeah.
We do meals, and we support the teams here, the various baseball teams, softball teams, the wrestling team, and stuff like that. Downtown Cranford as well too. So we're engaged in that way.
Yeah.
Also, being loud as well too. Loud in a way where you allow your voice to be heard.
Okay.
Because I've had conversation with the mayor as well too, about a year ago on sharing awareness of how it feels to be Black in Cranford.
Yeah.
And why people are a little bit resistant into coming into town, which he wasn't aware of either. And I think what we do as a culture sometimes is that we look at groups or different people and automatically think they know what we're going through, and that's not the case.
Right.
Unless you have that conversation.
Right.
And it goes vice versa as well too, you know. But we're gradually breaking those barriers down. We definitely are bringing more culture into the area. It's funny because it's an ongoing joke here. Whenever they see any Black families or anyone of color in town, they're like, "Oh, they're going to Urban Burger. Oh, they're going to like we'll place bets." And sure enough, that is the case.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing to see.
And I would say that it's twofold, right? Like you're serving the people of color within the community, right? Giving them a safe haven, a place that they can come and feel welcome. But then I think it's also like, for some of the people here, this is as close as they're gonna get to culture ever, right? So if
Absolutely.
they come in here, they get a taste of the art, they get a taste of the food, they get a taste of, you know, some of the music that's playing. I think they start to understand it more, and it becomes more welcoming to hopefully spark that fire that they may want to go out and do some research on YouTube, right? To learn about the music, or to take a photo and Google search what some of these spaces are.
That's why you're getting it. That's why we do what we do here, you know. And that's where the educational piece comes in.
Yeah.
You know how many people come in and they do the Shazam and I know what they're doing. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
And people
Got
come
him.
in, yeah. I love to see it, you know, because that's who I am as an individual. I always want to learn something new. That's the only way that I grow, you know. And I didn't bring that up just, you know, to bring up a race thing or whatever the case is. That's not an easy way for me to talk about, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Because for years I have been hiding. So where does that come from?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do battle a lot of things that people don't know in public because I'm here.
Right.
You understand? So there's a lot of stresses that come with that as well too. So, or why do we make it known that it is? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't have the support that I have now.
Right.
If I didn't, people wouldn't be inspired to do the same things that I'm doing or what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thought leader, man. Absolutely.
And Les Trent was one of the first to reaffirm. He's a reporter. Probably see him on TV or whatever, but he lives in Westfield, or used to live in Westfield for years. Never knew that Urban Burger was a Black-owned restaurant until he walked in and was like, whoa. He was like, what's going on here? How come I haven't heard about you? You need to be loud and proud.
Yeah.
People need, it's not just about you boasting that you're here, but it's more about you're inspiring people. You know, and that's the reason why you need to put, so we had another video that went viral. And it was just an influencer that came in, and she mentioned that we were one of the, we are the only Black-owned restaurant in town. And people were going crazy off the comments and everything. It was like, well, why do you have to mention it's Black-owned if they're a good restaurant, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And before she even posted it, she even asked if it was okay for her to do that. I was like, well, absolutely, go ahead. I don't care, whatever comes with it. My energy and the positive energy and the vibes that we bring here is going to overcome and overpower whatever negative comments that may come.
Yeah.
But the more reason of why it needs to be mentioned is because of what Les Trent told me. It's to inspire. Not only to inspire, but also to empower. You know, and if you don't tell your story, who else will know?
That's right.
You know, and your story and your life is a testimony for the next.
Yeah,
you know, so people need to know the trials and tribulations that you go to, but at the same time, see what journey you went through to achieve such success.
Higher purpose, right? So I love stories where things are layered in, right? So you're talking about music culture, right? The learning marketing and how marketing can connect masses to like your talent, right? And then you shift that over to your business where you're using the same techniques to draw in a crowd in an authentic way where you're portraying your brand in a certain way, which aligns with your values and who you are as a person. All those layers make such a great story and make such a great brand. And I don't think people lean into that enough. You know, they want to just go into this business because they feel like it's going to make money. They don't understand the business has to be a part of who you are.
If it was about money, I'll be completely honest with you. If it was about money, I would have been out of business. Because this industry is very, very, very challenging. It's like you have your up days and you have your down days. But I understood that this is purposeful work. There's purpose. It's not just about just a restaurant. It's not your average restaurant. You're coming in here, you're feeling something. You know what I mean? Like you're and I get chills even when I say this because the things that happen within a year's time, I know that I'm walking with angels. You know, I have my mom, I have my dad, I have others that work, and I get it. You know, I get it, and it's like, hey man, the leading up to the pandemic, I was in LA with a group of artists that was under my indie label, where we just signed a deal, met Top from TDE.
Top Dog.
Manny Smith doing a deal with Manny, who found Kendrick Lamar and the artists under Top Dog, and we're here. We're discussing. Hey, listen, you need to buy a house. We were discussing buying a house for the artist, and also me relocating in LA. Boom! The pandemic hits. Puts a halt to all of that.
Everything.
All of that.
Right.
How do you come up from that as an individual?
Right.
I'm like, oh baby, I said, this is it. This is my retirement plan. We're out of here. Boom, we're going. No.
Right.
Your plan is not necessarily God's plan. You know what I mean? And it took me some time to realize that. And once I realized, I was like, okay, all right.
Strap up. Let's go.
Hey, listen, and I've been strapping up, and I'm like, yo, God, I'm one of your strongest soldiers.
Right.
But I get it.
Yeah.
So this thing that we're doing here is more purposeful. And I'm incorporating everything that I've learned in every other facet of my life, and I'm bringing it into this. And just like you said, there's multi-layers. And if there's multi-layers, it's hard for someone to get it in just one sitting. I'm giving you several courses of the menu.
Oh, I like that.
I'm giving you several courses of the menu. So so you're going to get a piece of me. As long as you enter our world, the Urban Burger world or whatever, you're gonna get a taste of not only the food, but the owner himself, but also the other characters as well too, with the staff and everything. And also fashion and everything. Listen, it's multi-layered, and however we get you to adapt to what we're doing here, it's gonna be a long journey. You know. Together.
Great stuff. Great insight. So for the audience, because we're all about helping each other, right? We're a community. If you could give them like a couple of best practices that you use, that you could tell people when it comes to marketing or social media that helped you out, what would you tell the audience?
Stay connected. Stay connected. Surround yourself with individuals that know more than you. Be vulnerable enough where you can take their advice, because a lot of times owners think they know more. I don't. My approach is not that. My approach is more or less like, don't be afraid to share an idea, even from your staff. It could be from your management staff. It could be from your marketing team, whoever. Bring your ideas to me. Let's build, because there's but so much that one individual can come up with. You know. Surround yourself with individuals that you trust, and surround yourself with individuals that know more than you, that are more creative than you. and do the work. You have to do the work.
Can't be afraid of the work.
You got to do the work. It's not easy. It's something that you have to continuously do and stay on top of.
Right.
And at the same time, live fearlessly.
Yeah.
You know, do not allow fear or doubt to come in the way at all.
Yeah.
You know, and part of what we're doing here is I'm allowing people to see who I am, so that they can connect, because we're similar. We're all human beings. You know what I mean? But I'm built different too.
Yeah.
I'm built differently.
I feel it.
You know what I mean?
And I know it.
The only person that can, there's no stopping me there's no stopping. And once human beings understand that as long as you see the vision didn't start with you, it was a gift given to you by God, your creator. Mm-hmm. So if you can see it, that's the end result.
Yeah.
Just do the work.
Just do the work. I love it. I love everything about what you're doing. I love your mindset. I love the purpose of your work. So keep doing what you're doing, please, because it's not just for you, it's not just for your family, but it's for the community.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people who don't even know you yet. Like, you're going to affect them as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my man. It's a golden gem here with Rico over at Urban Burger, Cranford. Make sure you come check them out. And slap your mama wings.
Slap your mama wings, man.
I'm not going to steer you wrong. Come check them out.
Peace. Mr. Taste My Meat. Pause.
I love it. Peace. Yo, what a great conversation here at Urban Burger with my guy Rico. I mean, one of the things we always want to do is have our takeaways, right? Our golden gems. So in this case, the conversation really dove into being authentic, right? That's the underlying conversation we always have, right? How do you be authentic and connect to your audience? I think Rico does it in a way where it's connecting to community, right? Allowing his message to be put out there in his own way, unafraid, in his own manner, but also inviting the community into his establishment to experience what he's showing them, right? So, great conversation. Hopefully you picked up something from them. And this is a golden gem, and I'm here just to drop them. Peace.